Hi, I'm Chef G, and I cooked at some of the best restaurants in the world. And I probably even cooked for you. This recipe right here is from my good doctor, Dr. T, Dr. Tsatsaronis. He's my tooth doctor. I love the guy. And he asked me to make him Pastitio. Hey, Yorgo, now you're going to show the people to make Pastitio? You never make a pasticcio before, Yorgo. You work at the high end of fish places. You know, open the fish, put the sauce on. I've never seen you make a pasticcio. This one, I want to see. Damn, Yaya. What's up with the confidence, man? Okay, I don't make pasticcio in the fine dining that much, but I watch you make it. I ate it a million times. Well, you know what? It might not be like Yaya's, but it's gonna be pretty damn good. So I'm gonna teach you my way of making the pasticcio. And these are the ingredients that you need. I'm gonna teach you guys how to make this in a later video. That's the ground beef with tomatoes and cinnamon and different spices. And these are the noodles that we use. They're a thin, long noodle with a hole in the middle. A couple of eggs, some cinnamon, butter, cheese, nutmeg, salt, pepper, milk, and the utensils I need. And don't forget the flour. Here we're rendering down the fat from the ground beef so we can make the meat filling for the pasticcio. As I'm draining the fat from the ground beef, like I showed you guys in the dolmades video, which you could always refer to, I'm sauteing these onions a little bit until they're translucent. And then as soon as they're translucent, I'm going to add the garlic to it. Adding about a tablespoon of chopped garlic. I don't like to use the garlic press for this one. I like to have the little bits of garlic pieces in there. I personally like to add some chili flakes. A couple of them. Give it a little bit of a spice to it. It's my little trick. And then I add a little oregano. This is with the onions. Of course, it's a technique called blooming. So as we're heating them up with the oil, it's blooming all the flavors, opening up into the onions. Before I add the ground beef to it, I like to put a little bit of cinnamon and a bay leaf. I just put a half a cinnamon stick for this amount. So now we're just putting in the strained ground beef. I like using ground beef for pasticcio. Then I add some whole tomatoes, San Marzano to be exact, that I crushed with my hand right on top. I like adding about a quarter of a cup of thinly sliced Italian parsley. I season it a little bit at the beginning, and towards the end I'll give it another blast of salt and pepper. But just for now, I'll put in a little salt and pepper. And just stir, stir, stir. Now that it's boiling, I like to turn it down to medium-low. And I really like to cook it for at least 45 minutes to an hour. And reducing it down to a wonderful consistency. All right, I got a big pot of boiling water. I put in some salt and I put in a little bit of oil. Then I just take this pasta and put it in. So I stir and I cook for like 8 to 9 minutes. Doesn't have to be cooked all the way because it's going to be baked in the oven again. Just to loosen it up a little bit. So while the pasta's cooking, you might as well make the crema, they call it. Or a classical French term is the bechamel. A mornay is with cheese. So you put the half a stick of butter in and a half a cup of flour. So there you go. The butter's melted. Dump in the flour, give it a nice stir, let it cook a little. And then you can see if the flour is a little loose, the way it is now, we could add a touch more, just like 2 tablespoons. 1, 2, perfect. That should be good. Ah, it's perfect consistency. So you want it to be around that consistency, all right? So, you slowly got to add the milk in a little bit at a time, like a half cup at a time. Half cup at a time. Look at that thicken up beautifully, half cup at a time. So you temper it. Should be nice and tempered now. Just keep on pouring it in a little bit at a time, just like that. So now that you incorporated all the milk, You gotta make sure you mix it so there's no lumps. I put in a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Just 1/4 teaspoon, not too much. You don't want to over nutmeg it. I love a little fresh pepper, like always. And about a tablespoon of salt. Not too much salt, just around a little bit less than a tablespoon, because we're gonna be adding cheese to it, and that's gonna make it salty. Right now that all the ingredients are in there except for the cheese and the eggs, you want to constantly give it a stir so it doesn't stick at the bottom and there's no lumps. Just keep on stirring it until it comes to a nice boil. All right, so while the milk is getting ready, I have 3 eggs here that I beat it with a wire whisk, just like that, because we're going to temper that in, add it slowly. And I just like to add the cheese right to the egg mixture. So I add it right to the egg mixture, okay? Just grate about a 1/2 cup of cheese in there. So right here, the roux, flour, butter, mixed with the milk and the seasonings should be this consistency. Almost as thick as a very light mayonnaise or a pancake batter right now, okay? There you go. I put a little wet towel trick on the bottom, just a paper towel, wetting it, put it on top so it doesn't slide around when you stir it. And this is a French term called to lier, but temper in English. And these are my eggs and cheese, and you just slowly, drop by drop. You want to bring the temperature of the egg, room temperature, to the temperature of the cream or the bechamel. Slowly, slowly. See how I'm doing that? Nice and slow. Keep on doing that until you get it all in. About halfway with the egg mixture and the bechamel. I'll pour the rest back into the bechamel. So we do a little switcheroo. That's tempered. We put this down, and then we just take the bowl like this, and we just whip it right in. And we just whip it right in, just like that. Keep on going, pour it all in. You got it? That's it. Get a spatula to clean out the rest. Got everything homogenized together. You gotta let it come up to a little bit of a boil, like a slight boil, the little bubbles that come up. You'll feel it thicken up, okay? Shouldn't take too long, a few minutes. Adjust your seasonings. I just tasted it, and I think it needs a little bit more cheese. And I also put in a little more fresh pepper, salt, and nutmeg, just to give it a kick it up a little bit. And other than that, it's perfect and almost ready to go. What I like to do with the noodles, we shocked them. We took them out of the hot water. We didn't overcook them. They have a little bit of a bite to it. Then we put a little bit of more grated cheese on here. Give it a little flavor. Little grated cheese. It's about a 1/4 cup. And then I like to put a little bit of the bechamel on there also. This is the cheese thing. And don't worry about it. As long as you wash your hands, you could use your hands to mix this. Right, so that's there. And then another thing that I like to do is I like to put in 1 egg. 1 egg beaten. When I beat up the egg, I add a little cracked black pepper. Here's some seasoning. A little salt. As always, 3 pinches for good luck. Boom, another 4. And then all I do is mix it all up. Put the egg in, then we just mix it all up, mix it together. You want to make sure that your pan is slightly oiled. I like using butter for this, for the pastitio. The noodles and butter go pretty well. But you could use olive oil, you could use other little things, but I like to coat it with a little bit of the butters. Because the butter, as it cooks, it burns a little bit and it makes a nice crispy crust on the sides. And that's kind of my favorite part, all right? Then these noodles are well mixed, and then they should fit perfectly in this pan. And I just line them all up. Put them all in a row. Nice and straight, right on top of each other. That's it, you just keep on lining them up in a row. Now it's time to put the meat in. So I just put it in different spots. I scrape it all in there actually. That was about 3 pounds of beef. Make sure if you see a bay leaf in there to pop that bad boy out. And you give it a nice little press, right? At this point, you can press it down. It's a fun part, getting your hands nice and dirty. Look at that, how I pressed that down. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna hit the next step. People like to do, and I think Yaya used to do this, so I'm gonna do it. Normally in the restaurants I don't, is we could put one more layer of noodle on top. It's okay if it sticks up a little bit. Just right in a row. Put a row across the noodles. Just like that, one little row. Hopefully I got enough. If not, don't worry about it. Start at this end. And look at how beautiful these noodles are, right? There we go. Doesn't matter, you fix the pieces. Sauce is gonna cover everything up. So we got the beautiful sauce, the beautiful mornay. Look at that. Perfect amount of noodles. Ah, damn, I'm getting lucky. All right, there's that step. Now the crema. Nice consistency, give it a little stir. Look at that, and just pour it right on top. Pour it right all over the place. Hopefully I made enough. You don't want to be skimpy on the crema. And I think this is a perfect amount of crema. And like we said, it's not an exact science. You could have fun, a little more salt, a little more pepper, less cream, no cream. But look at that, you just spread it all over. Look at how perfect that is. Fills the pan perfectly. Ah, Chef G. There you go. There you go, I leveled it all out. Then I like to put a little grated cheese right on top. And then we just bake it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And then we'll crank the heat up to get the top nice and brown. There's little tricks that Yaya used to do, like melt some butter, put the butter on top there. But you know what? I'm gonna forego that because we could always use the salamander to brown it up if we have to. There you go. That bad boy is ready to put in the oven. So that's about an hour out of the oven at 375 degrees. Look at that, beautiful golden brown. Looks beautiful. Now we gotta let it rest for a little bit, about 20 minutes before we could cut it. All right, exciting times. I let it rest, it's cooled down, it's the best time to cut it. And I'm gonna cut this one into 9 pieces. My technique is, you can even use your hand to measure if you like. Cut it right down the middle. And then you go your hand size, a third, and a third. Hello, Yorgo! You finally made the pasticcio! I'm gonna give it a try, Yorgo, because I don't know. I think I'm the specialist in pasticcio. Let me taste. You cook fish restaurants your whole life. Let me taste a piece of this pasticcio. It looks good. Look at the layers. Let me give this a taste, a pasticcio with the crema. Yorgo, you know, I think this time I got you beat with the pasticcio. There's nothing like Yaya's pasticcio, but don't tell him it's very good, okay? Don't let him know. Yaya, how can you say yours is better? I'm a professional chef. I know how to make pasticcio. Well, anyway, I'm gonna give it a try. I wanna taste this right now to make sure, even though we tasted all the other ingredients, and yeah, that came out really good. I gotta give that a chef's kiss. I wanna give a big shout out to Dr. T, Tazzarones, for having me make this. It came out delicious. If you guys need the recipe, please let me know. Email me, text me, whatever it takes, smoke signals. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I want you guys to be safe out there. Lots of love. Chef G saying bye.